Since I was a kid, I always enjoyed playing farming games. I sunk a ton of hours into Harvest Moon games for GameCube and the Game Boy Advance, and was even hooked on Farmville for a long time. There's something about taking a dumpy little farm and turning it into a cash cow that's amazing. Obviously, when I saw that Staxel by Plukit was coming out on Steam, I was pretty excited, and more so when I was graciously given a press key for the game. So, does it fit in with the likes of Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley? Let's take a look at Staxel. Staxel is a voxel-based farming sandbox created by Plukit and released through the Steam Early Access program, with a development time estimated to be a little bit less than a year. As far as the early access system goes, the game is currently fully playable with both a single player and multiplayer experience ready from the start. Your story starts off with moving into an abandoned farm on the edge of a small village, tasked with restoring it along with the rest of the town to its former glory. The farm is dilapidated and overgrown, but it has the potential to be an amazing plantation with a little creativity and a lot of work. To bring it to life, you have to use the core building mechanic, a unique feature in this game, to restore the area. Instead of plopping down pre-built structures on a grid, Staxel, you buy a sign that marks the minimum size of the building and its required components, but the rest is up to you. You can build it as big as you want in any style and add whatever you wish to it as long as it meets the minimum specifications. As far as I know, this hasn't really been done in any farming sandbox thus far, which is pretty cool. The other thing that makes this game stand out is the crafting system. Instead of using a central workbench or using inventory magic, Staxel requires you to process materials through certain tools in order to make and combine products. You can cut, tile, and carve components out of raw materials, and there's also a couple benches for cutting, boiling, and mixing food ingredients to make recipes. Then there's the standard crop growing and animal raising that's standard for the genre, which we really won't cover that much at all. So, what do I like about this game? Even though the early access aspect to Staxel makes it a little bit rough around the edges in some cases, I think that the game is off to a great start. The building system is reminiscent of Minecraft, which is a great way to make the world feel like your own. It's not fun being limited to a single size and style building in a sandbox, and it does make actually managing your space a little awkward at times. However, the voxel mechanics in this game makes the world extremely customizable and really raises the creativity ceiling for the people that love to build. Plus, the options available for furniture, while still young, I think, has the potential to be a lot better than most games with a little work from modders. The fact that the developers are embracing modding from the start is another great sign about this game. Modding is something that really boosts the amount of staying power a game has. Minecraft has lasted a long time partially because of mods. Counter-Strike's source mods kept its community alive for 8 years between releases and resulted in a lot of extremely creative and popular game modes that have been spread to other games. A lot of developers don't explicitly ban modding, but many of them design their games with modding as an afterthought. Staxel's Steam Workshop being available on release is a sign that they have considered the benefits of a more open game, and the game is going to benefit extremely from it. I think the fully realized version of the crafting system is going to be great. Even though stacking the same tools over and over again to process materials can get a little tedious, the crafting system is a great place to implement tiered materials. Requiring players to upgrade and buy better workbenches is a great way to push progress through the game as they work to have more readily access to better building materials. Right now that really isn't the case, but there's a lot of opportunity here. Finally, the amount of community involvement and active development by Plukit is a good sign for such a young game. They've stated that they want to keep the community up to date with Staxel's development and that they listen to player feedback, and they've actually been living up to that promise so far. They have a dedicated forum, subreddit, and Discord with team members that are active within each outlet, which shows that they're definitely trying to build a community around the game. I know that I've given this game a lot of praise so far, but that doesn't mean the game is 100% perfect. There's some kinks to work out and design changes that I think would benefit the game. First of all, the crafting system is just too limited and redundant at its current state. You can only build a handful of items with a couple more that can have their blueprints bought through the store. In reality, the crafting recipes don't fully encompass the items in the game enough to make the crafting system profitable. There's a lot of different building blocks and materials missing from it, which makes me question its purpose. My involvement with the system has mostly been crafting pickets and stuff to sell for money to buy the materials I actually want, which is a step too far in my opinion. Really, if they had a lot more of the blocks available for crafting, it would make the game a lot more streamlined, as players could create a workshop that can produce the materials required to complete larger projects. Plus, adding a little bit of a tiered system to the crafting where things need to be upgraded and added would give players something to work towards. This might just be an issue with the age of the game, but I hope the system has a lot more attention paid to it later on. The lack of progression is also an issue I have with the game. Stardew Valley had the town center, Harvest Moon always had something to accomplish or complete by a given time, which always pushed players in a certain direction. At the same time, completing these tasks was always rewarded with something that the players just couldn't get anywhere else. Staxel has the primitive version of that with minor quests and a general theme that persuades players into rebuilding the town, but it would be nice to see it develop into something more. Maybe having a higher population would unlock new events or something, maybe restoring parts of the town would unlock new gameplay features like produce stands or access to more furniture. Also, adding a little bit of lore or more character to the villagers would help explain why the town is in such bad shape and could help drive events that shape the village's path to restoration. The game already has a lot to offer, but there's just nothing actively to work towards at this point. Also, the selling system is extremely vague. The prices will rise or fall by a little or by a lot on each sale, but it's never really explained why that is. Is there some sort of economy driving the prices, or is it just random for the day. I think giving a direct explanation and expansion on it if it's the former case would be great for the game. Also, the flowers are a little much and hurt my frame rate at times. With that being said, I think Staxel is off to a promising start. The early access version of the game is a lot more further along than many games in it, and it's awesome to see something that's fully playable and somewhat content complete in the store. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be tweaked and added, but I think Staxel has the potential to fit in alongside Harvest Moon and Stardew Valley as a great farming sandbox. It's a lot different than the listed games, but it's got enough charm and difference to make it stand out. I don't really like saying whether or not you should buy a game because it's all subjective, but I like to discuss whether or not you should buy it at its current state if you're interested in it. As Staxel currently stands, I think it's buyable if you want it because it has enough content and is stable enough that you can pick it up and play it today. That's my thoughts on Staxel. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see some more of this game covered, give me a like and let me know what you want to see in the comments below. If you want to see some more reviews and gaming content, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching. This has been I Miss Too Much. Peace.